explore what the word fashion means to you.
This is a question that every human being needs to and is continuously asking itself. Humanity's eternal question: who are we and why are we here on Earth?
Well, that is quite really bold statement.
Girls, I have a message for them out there. Brands are not your value.
But that's really a subliminal message.
Whilst sexy, or the idea of being sexy, ties in with consumerism and showing off some parts of your body in order to attract attention, in order to be validated.
What would be your number one advice to entire fashion industry?
I really do hope that the new generation of fashion would separate ego from integrity. A woman is a majestic creature, and she deserves the respect and the attention.
Hey everyone, it's Sabina here and you're watching Women Friendly Fashion TV, the place where the real voices of fashion come together. And today's guest is Oana Marcu, a model and actress, and as she likes to call herself, an old soul with futuristic mind. She is passionate about the experience in performing art and believes in its valuable contribution to modern culture. Oana was born in a beautiful town, Iasi, Romania, grew up in Florence, Italy, and finally came to London to pursue her true soul calling. All she wants to do is to educate people to see the beauty in themselves and the outer world. Also, she is one of those rare gems that shines through intelligence, kindness, and grace. And if I can describe her in one word, she's just wonderful, and I can't wait for you to meet her. Welcome, Oana Marcu. Oana, thank you so much for being our guest. Really appreciate your time, and I'm really looking forward to speak about your relationship with fashion and what fashion means to you, and to explore your life in the fashion.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm very proud to stand by your side and women-friendly fashion. I think it's important. This strong mission, personally and as part of the team and community.
Well, thank you so much. So let's explore what the word fashion means to you.
It's like a complex word, isn't it? Everybody can define it completely differently. To me, it has two meanings. The word fashion, it's like creative embrace that we all have to define for ourselves, simply surfacing our needs for our day-to-day lives. And secondly, it's a global trend designed around consumerism. And therefore, how do we perceive that, and how do we accept that if we do?
Oana, you have mentioned fashion is an expression of ourselves, expressing our own creativity within ourselves, right? So let's explore a little bit deeper. Okay. What is that ourselves, actually who we are? The first thing first, we need to know who we are, and then where the creativity comes from.
Well, this is a question that every human being needs to and is continuously asking itself, because it's humanity's eternal question: who are we and why are we here on Earth? Right? Existentialism.
Well, exactly. So it's kind of like opens up a really big platform to discuss beyond the top surface, right? The body. So let's dig a little bit deeper.
Who are we and why are we here is it's a direct reflection of how do we portray ourselves as being seen in the society, and how do we visualize becoming in the future as an individual. And that is part of the process of defining oneself whilst creating career and an identity within this society. And how does that transpire in its creativity? Well, depending on how much you know yourself and how you want to be perceived, that will inspire your creativity, whether it's art or your choices in fashion, or everyone has a different way of expressing themselves creatively.
Where do you think the sense of creativity comes from? Does it come from the heart? Does it come from the mind? Does it come from somewhere else or something else? How do you feel it? How do you perceive it yourself?
Well, from my perspective, I feel that I'm most creative when I have peace of mind, and I love to express what I feel and think in other ways other than fashion choices, but I don't really like shopping.
That doesn't really support your creativity, the shopping process.
No, it's a waste of time, and it's very tiring, and it's very sickening, and I don't think it's what the society needs, especially how it's presented in nowadays society. All those infinite shopping malls with the same brands that you would find in high streets and on every TV screen or bus driving to the city, and it's mental pollution, I see.
Well, that is quite really bold statement, because as we know, in the fashion industry, it's all about consumerism nowadays, right? And there is a tendency that the girl's value, the woman's value, is based on the label she is wearing, or on the price tag that label is attached to. So it's really interesting to hear when you say that the value isn't there.
No.
So where is the value?
It's quite sad news from my perspective, because they are not being inspired to become the best version of themselves, but rather follow a trend, try to fit in, and you have to pay the price. Not to mention the challenge of filtering through the social classes, and that's an even a more expensive price to pay. Girls, I have a message for them out there. Brands are not your value. At the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, you won't be thinking, oh, those brands really created a memory for me. I don't think so. I mean, with all due respect to the timeless classic designers, which I highly appreciate and even chose to wear once in a while, because I prefer to invest in a capsule collection that I can wear for various occasions and situations. Going back to the values and how does that transpire into creativity of the girls, it doesn't leave much space for that. I feel that each brand portrays a certain personality, and the girls have to sort of fit in and then express, oh, that's me, oh, that's me. And
this season I'm here, the another season I'm there.
Right, so having this need to always fit into some sort of personality, because it doesn't have the value of a character, it sort of derails their balance, and it doesn't really create a sense of identity, of being true to themselves and just living their life according to their own values. They live their life according to what the society teaches them that they should be portraying. So I feel like they are trying to fit in the picture in order to be accepted.
I completely agree with you. And more than that, in terms of fitting every season into a new box, while the box actually is translating, be yourself, be free. But that's really a subliminal message. They tell you have to be free, express yourself, but then fit in within the box that we're putting on you. Just express yourself within that box. There is one brand box, another brand box, isn't it?
Right, yeah. It's limiting their creativity and their freedom. Exactly.
Whilst there is really many options, which box you're going to choose, you still have to choose out of the box.
And that involves investing a lot of time, investing a lot of money, but most importantly, always being lost in your pursuit to being yourself and becoming the best version of yourself, you know.
Oana, you have mentioned when you go down the street, when you see the fashion ads, you
Yes.
find it like objectifying women and girls.
Yes.
Does this encourage you to buy the advertising product?
No. I mean, look at their facial expressions. Let's start with the catwalk shows. Do you see that they have any identity? They walk like they are live mannequins. They have no expression, and everybody has to fit in.
I can't believe you have mentioned that. I can't believe, because personally, I think when I see the catwalk,
Yes.
I feel really sorry for all the girls, for all women that are actually walking down there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have been made up into looking like they have no life. You know, there is no human sparkle on the catwalk.
No.
You know, so sometimes I'm just wondering whether or not it would be just better to put on a plastic mannequin the dress, if you really about advertising the dress, you know, because that doesn't inspire me at all. It doesn't inspire me. I want to see the character. I want to see a live person being happy on wearing the clothes, but not like walking actually as a
Well, I think that one of the reasons why they must not have any expression is because the audience must pay attention simply to the clothes. So they simply have to display it. They are simply walking hangers.
Well, but this is an issue, because at the end of the day, the person is alive. And you see the walking hanger, and the perception of the walking hanger is put into the advertising on the billboards.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is another hanger there, right?
Yep.
And then becomes a woman, becomes just a part of the merchandise upsell. And the value of woman decreases to an object. And I think it's a really, really serious issue. And I don't know who on earth came up with this idea that the walking girl on the catwalk shouldn't have any expression because it will distract from the dress. I think it's absolutely, you know, it's something out of another world, because once you see a beautiful woman on the street, you see the full set. Mm-hmm. Its personality, it's the way she looks, and the dress she wears. So you're inspired by that, you know?
Yes. Rarely.
Rarely, it's true.
Because nowadays I look around and I see clones. You see women in tight pants that are supposed to be worn either at home or in yoga, and you can see through them. Girls, that's not elegant. You see everybody wearing sneakers which are supposed to be worn for sports with dresses. That's not a trend. That's not elegance. Everybody's the same. I find no beauty on the streets of London, unfortunately. Very rarely in certain areas. Yet even they are living an inner world that is quite stressful, and you can see that how transpires through their facial expressions. It's life and fitting in, I guess.
Yeah, trying
and
to...
how they let the society influence and inspire their feelings or their core values to design their lives around it, their universe. That's why I love the word universe. We're all born with a mind and soul and heart, and I think we have the right, and we owe it to ourselves to create our own universe. How we choose to do that whilst integrating into society is a very fine line, and that's where most girls get lost. That's why
right.
Fashion is tricky, and that's why fashion has a negative
It's
impact.
blurry. It's very blurry between who you truly are and who they want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very dangerous line, and that's why when you mention that every season you're trying to fit into a new identity proposed, is actually identity crisis, because you keep trying to find your own identity every season, you know.
Well, identity crisis starting as a teenager. I mean, where is this leading to? I see 14-year-old girls, going for these high street fashion brands because, hey, that's the trend. That's what my friend is wearing, and it's like an infinite loop of following the trend in order to be accepted in your inner circle, and then a bigger circle, and then in society, and then on earth. I mean, why do you have to feel the need to be accepted? Accept yourself as you are, purely as you wake up in the morning, completely.
Do you know, on a very good point, just because when we are not accepting ourselves, we're trying to find acceptance from others. And that's why this entire cult of following someone has busted in social media and everywhere else. Because once you're not accepting yourself, you need someone to accept you to confirm you are good enough, or you're clever enough, you're influential enough, and etc., etc., etc.
Well, that ties in strongly with the idea and the attitude that people have towards self-acceptance. Why do you have the need to feel accepted by the others, and why do you have this illusion in your mind that you must have X number of followers in order to be validated? Not healthy.
Well, it's a good point around illusion, because in the 20th century, when the marketing has rise, they created illusion when they were proposing the brand. And nowadays the illusion switch towards the real people, so the real people becoming surreal people. And from one following trend, you're following another trend. So again, tying to our previous conversation, into fitting into the particular following box, just because you don't accept yourself. Oana, you have mentioned a very forgotten word nowadays: elegance. Can we speak about the elegance, and what does it mean to you? And how do you see it currently being expressed, or actually portrayed or actually dismissed?
I love elegance. Elegance is timeless, and you can't buy elegance. Elegance is a reflection of inner values and really being comfortable in your skin. I really love seeing these beautiful old couples, say, walking in Milan hand in hand and completely elegant head to toe, because that's their culture. They're happy people, and they have learned what is a need and what is a want, and how to live their life accordingly in good balance. And you can see that their choices in elegance related to fashion are simply a wise choice on choosing the right cut for their body type, and timeless pieces that they could wear even in a couple of years' time, or even pass it through generations. And that doesn't necessarily mean a brand. It's all about the quality of the material and the right cut for their body shape, and that is elegance to me.
Current really big trend focusing on sexiness, how being sexy and being elegant, does these two together merge, or they are two separate things? Because some people, they say being sexy is being elegant.
No, they are uncomparable. They're not even comparable universes. No. Like I said earlier, being elegant is timeless, and it means you're comfortable in your own skin and you live a healthy lifestyle, and you don't need the high street fashion in order to validate your identity. Whilst sexy, or the idea of being sexy, ties in with consumerism and showing off some parts of your body in order to attract attention, in order to be validated outside your home, and also via social media platforms, unfortunately. I mean, we all see it everywhere we walk. There are people standing outside shops taking photos with the flowers because they specifically dressed for that photo, and they spent half their day for that.
It's ridiculous.
How can you spend your day for a photo when you're not in the industry, or professional photographer, or I don't know, artist in any way? I just think it's sickening, and I'm not feeling very positive about the younger generation with role models like that. When one is comfortable in their own skin, they're not looking for role models, but they appreciate them from a distance. And that is the beauty of being elegant, because you see variety in individuals and sincere self-respect, which I think that very few do nowadays. Self-respect and identity and integrity. Model is a person that I have things to learn from, and it opens my horizon and my way of thinking in regards to certain ideas.
Oana,
Yes.
what would be your number one advice to entire fashion industry if you could actually suggest something to change?
Well, since we're talking about identity and self-acceptance, I would be very happy to see youngsters that would start up in fashion come up with ideas that tailor clothes based on body shapes and skin color and the palette of colors that matches them, because that is another sign of elegance, how to dress for your body shape and for your skin color and for your hair and for your eyes color and so on and so forth, but always based on your needs, not trends, not wants. Yet again, I really do hope that the new generation of fashion would separate ego from integrity, because that is also a fine line, and that would take their creative process in a completely different direction, I would think. So I would really appreciate seeing fashion sense and attitude towards become the best version of yourself, but not by these examples, but choose the right cut for your body type and the right colors for you. It's as simple as that.
What do you think? What is the gap in the market, and what would you suggest for people starting in the fashion industry? Where would be the opportunity for them?
Well, I wouldn't define it as a gap, because it would be completely different. It's what some people do is tailor-made clothing. They can take inspiration in that. We can all see that personalization is a unique gift. Why don't you gift yourself the choice of creating something unique? So to answer your question, I would advise the younger generation starting up in fashion to look at the individual woman from a different perspective, because women are unique creatures capable of giving life and with amazing bodies. And what I would warmly suggest to them would be to redefine the word fashion, because a woman is a majestic creature and she deserves the respect and the attention that it deserves.
Final questions to all girls and women. How to find the real role model? Because anyway, by any means, we definitely need a role model, even though we accept ourselves.
Right.
We need to grow, we need to see. If you can't see, you can't become, right?
Right.
So how to find the right one?
Well, I'm looking at what the media is portraying, and I have to say that I have seen some movies or TV series where they empower the identity of a woman, and a woman is seen as the equal of a man or even more superior, and that is something to be applauded and respected, because unfortunately the media industry is ruled by more than 70% males.
More than that.
Right, more than that. And I would encourage girls to seek inspiration elsewhere. I personally admire actresses from a different era, Sophia Loren, for example, or Audrey Hepburn. We all know the timeless examples. And all their photos that are being painted and repainted nowadays, it doesn't say she was wearing X brand, does it? It's all about embracing her body as is.
Thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge, all your experience, and all your wisdom. I think this is invaluable and cannot be compared to any trend, any brand. It's timeless.
I would hope so.
as the word elegance. Thank you so much, Oana. Fashion industry is about you as it is about those who create it. So tell us, what do you want to see change? Please leave your feedback and thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give us thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next time on Women Friendly Fashion.